Hello, good morning, and good welcome. I am, as always, the
Mm.
lovely Jessica, and joined by my excellent co-host.
Emma, hello. I love that you did the good welcome again. We're totally bringing that in.
It's in there now.
Yeah, with at least two episodes. We've got two more to go. So
hmm
see if you
Yes,
remember to do good
I will
welcomes
do.
for
I
those.
will. I will pick a week and just go all out.
Yeah,
But yeah,
lovely.
as you said, this is week four. We've
Week
only got
four.
two left. How come it's that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's flown by. But yeah, this time we are bringing you a an awesome book actually. It is called Seducing the Sheriff of Nottingham. So if
Hmm.
you watched last week, you will know we were on ghosts, and our link between the two is stalkers.
Stalkers. Yeah.
Because who doesn't love a good stalkerish
It's what
book?
you imagine when you're thinking of romance, is
Yeah, you're
stalkers, isn't it?
yeah, you're mooching through your Kindle or your Kobo, and you're like, do you know what I fancy? Somebody lurking in the bushes and
I mean,
peeking
we're
through the
saying
windows.
this like a joke, but it is quite a thing now with dark
Yeah, it really
romance.
is. Yeah.
I don't know because I've not really delved into that area. I don't know what is the kind of thing that is like standard for dark romance and that
What?
isn't. Like I've heard some people talk about books where they like men are hiding in
Yeah,
closets and things.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
okay?
I have seen that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
the notable one is the haunting and or hunting. I don't know which one's which
Oh,
of Adeline.
is there one of
Yeah,
each, isn't there?
yeah. I think it's one. The first one is haunting. Second
Hmm.
one is hunting. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
have read them very quickly, as I always do. Yeah, so they are hiding in closets and in bushes and all sorts of curious.
Yeah.
When does it become peeping Tomish? I wonder.
Well, I think it is,
It is
but
still
it's
is.
just okay
It's
because
yeah. If you're wanting it and he's
yeah.
acceptable, then it's okay.
Hmm. And I think that's kind of where we are with the stalker stuff. It's
Yes,
like very
it's an
much so with this
allowable.
one as well. It's like they are both acknowledged stalkers of each other and proud, aren't
Yes,
they?
yes. There are
So
reasons behind the
yeah.
stalkerage.
Which
So
I guess is like when you cross over the line into just an infatuated relationship,
well,
basically.
this is it, isn't it? If you're both invested fully and
Yeah.
okay with it, then
Technically, you're not stalking if the other person knows you're there and is okay with it. I guess is that the legal line?
I
I
was going
don't
to say
know.
legally, I don't know if that would work. I'm
Yeah, but that's a legal disclaimer. We do not
no, yeah.
condone
Do not please
stalking
stalk
at
people.
all.
No, go and
No.
have buy them a nice coffee or a tea or a cake and chat. That is what we're
And
condoning.
if they say they don't want to, then you just go
Then
away and
leave
leave
them
them alone.
alone. hmm
That's it.
But not
Okay,
about
we'll
this
do
book.
the
We're going full
blurb.
stalkerage.
Yeah.
Mm.
After that public service announcement, we shall do the blurb.
Yay.
Right. So, Maid Marian has a chance to redo her life. 10 years ago, she was sent to the wicked, ugly, and bad prison for murdering the Sheriff of Nottingham. One small problem, she didn't do it. Now magic is sending the former good girl back in time to set things right. Marian's embraced her badness this time round. She'll get revenge on her selfish ex-boyfriend, Robin Hood, make Nottingham pay for all the ways they screwed her over, and save the handsome gargoyle sheriff from his real killer. And while she's at it, she'll seduce that brooding man and claim her real happily ever after. There we go.
Yay.
That was like she shells on
On
seashore.
the seashore, yeah.
It caught me out there. I can't do
You
that.
got it.
This time
Uh,
in the morning at the end of the
Yay.
week, it's not happening. Yeah, yeah. When I saw that one flag up, I was like, Robin Hood retelling, but the Sheriff of Nottingham's a gargoyle. Yes,
Oh,
please. I want to
yes.
know about that.
That is definitely my wheelhouse for the last many years and
Yeah,
going
and
forward
and that
too.
was it. And I thought, right, we got to get in on this, see what's going
Yes.
on with the gargoyles for Jess,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yay.
Right, so shall we get
Getting
into it?
into it.
Let's go.
So we're here to talk about a book.
We are, yes. We've got this is the plot bit. And I
hmm
think we were both talking about this that we're probably going to go a bit light on the plot for this one.
Yes. Yeah,
I
it's a
think,
slightly longer one.
yeah, and a lot of it will get covered in kind of the topics that we happen to get. Like, I think the meat of it is
Yes.
kind of covered in what we've got in the where we've got like villains and world
Yeah,
building
and
and banter and
everything fell really well with
yeah,
last week's wheel, because it's just like, that fits.
yeah,
Oh, that fits. So yeah.
exactly. So yeah, this is our first like time travel-y type one, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah. So this is kind of the thing to mention, that what we say about the book, it's like, oh yeah, it's the story that we all know about
Yeah,
Robin and Marion, and you know, he robs from the rich, feel the poor, he's the good guy, she's the maiden, and the Sheriff of Nottingham is the bad guy. And then you have to stop and go, actually no, throw all that out the window. We start pretty much, we have a
yeah.
bit of a prologue, and then we start with Marion in prison for murder.
Hang on,
So
let's dial back to the prologue. Because anyone who's been listening will know Jess loves a prologue, but she
I
did
do love
say
a
to
prologue.
me she wasn't sure that she felt this prologue
This
was
one
necessary.
didn't, yeah, to me, I read the
Now,
prologue and I,
I think I disagree.
oh, okay. So my take was, I read the prologue, and I do love my prologue. And then we went to Marion in prison, and it was like, boom. I would have loved for it to have been that
Yeah.
start.
Oh, it was a good start. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
that's
you for
what I
that.
would have wanted it to, straight in prison and go,
Yeah,
Jesus, that was, I want to read more. That's
yeah.
why.
Okay. But yeah, so the prologue begins with Nick, who is the Sheriff of Nottingham, um, reflecting on the fact that Marion's run off, hasn't she? And he's done something wrong. So you know that something's gone on, and I think it gives you a little bit of insight into gargoyles and what they're like, but also like this, you know, what his plan was. So he'd planned to kidnap Marion so that he could trap Robin Hood,
Yeah, bait.
basically. Because Robin, he hates Robin Hood.
Yeah.
As we all know from like watching it or, you know, anything like that, we know there's like this big enmity between them. So that was his plan. But at the same time, he's always been obsessed with
He
Marion.
loves her.
So it's like, it's kind of coincidental that his plan, you know, was
Just
like
just happens.
marrying
Yeah, the
Marion.
Marion, the
Yeah.
woman that he loves, who is
Yeah.
also the true love of his
Yeah.
sworn enemy.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of that because being a true love is a thing as well.
Yes,
It's not
it's like
like
soul
kind
mating,
of like a
isn't
fated
it?
mates type thing. Yeah, if you've come across it, and that's what everybody believes is the thing that Robin and Marion are true. But
Destined, yeah.
but what we also understand from the prologue is that Robin didn't come to
No,
say
he doesn't save her.
no.
True
Because it
love's
made
kiss
me
is not
think
here.
it's like I don't know, I haven't watched Robin Hood Prince of Thieves for ages, but that was like my go-to.
Yeah,
It's that my two reference points for
you were
Robin
going to
Hood
say
are
the same
exactly
thing
the
as
same.
me.
Yeah.
Women of a certain age will know exactly which two. So
Yeah,
yeah, fire away.
yeah. It's the Disney Robin Hood with the
Yes, it is.
fox, which we have also discussed previously. Um, which is a Robin Hood that I really loved. Yeah,
Yes.
but as in, yeah, Robin Hood
Yeah.
himself, he was a good Robin Hood. And Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which was, let's face it, everybody loved the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh,
It was
they
Alan
did. He
Rickman,
was perfect.
amazing. Even though he was being absolutely despicable, he was
Yet
also
vile
the most
person.
entertaining thing on the screen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I forget where I was going now. I'm just picturing.
This is it. I wrote it down as the first thing on my notes, and I'm like, yeah, we need to gloss over that though.
We
Otherwise,
gloss
we're here
over
all
it,
day.
and then I just bring it up. That's it. But yeah, he does the same thing, doesn't he? He kidnaps Marion
Yeah.
in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Now, I'm not saying the author was necessarily inspired by that because I think there's been a lot of other series as well. That there's one with Richard Armitage that a lot of people go on about.
Oh, is that? I think it's the
Yeah,
fact that she's the king's cousin, isn't she? So in theory,
yeah,
if you marry Marion with Richard and
yeah.
or John being wherever they are, then you
That's
have got
it.
the
You
succession to the
get the
throne.
control.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's not what this Sheriff of
No,
Nottingham's interested in. He just wants her for her,
he just wants the
basically.
lady.
So yeah, I kind of saw the prologue as being like just an insight into what the state of play was, because this is after the wedding as well, when
Yes,
she's run off and then the door opens, and as we know from the blurb, he gets,
he
you know,
dies.
he
Yeah, so
dies,
that's
he gets
first
murdered.
wedding.
Yeah. So, and then we go to Marion 10 years later in
In
the
the prison.
prison because she's been arrested for the crime she didn't commit.
It's like the A-Team, really going back to the 80s.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
yeah, so we're in there and she's made a hell of a lot of friends in prison, which I quite
She does.
liked. Yes.
She makes a lot of friends. She learns a lot of skills.
Mad
Yeah,
skills, yeah.
yeah, crafting, yeah. Bone
Yeah.
breaking, the standard stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, from being good to be bad, that is kind of the what she was a maid in the terms of what most people would think as maidenly is. That is definitely what she was, and she's now become a bad girl.
Yes.
But yeah, we are in her room with her roommate, who is Tansy, and we find out she is a hatter. And again, if you kind of know your fairy tales and how crazy the hatters and things are, yeah, we figure out that there's some sort of link to time travel there.
Yeah, that's it. She says she's able to do it, Tansy, because she's like level 4 magic. I forget. Did you do anything about the levels? That's usually your cup of tea, isn't
6
it?
is
Like,
the highest, and
okay,
I
yeah,
think
you'd know.
yeah, 6 is the highest. I don't know if the one that is mentioned later, who we'll probably speak a bit about, is a 4.
Totally
I think he's still a 4, not a 5.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I'm sure it said he was a 4. He's that level, and he's the highest that is known.
So it's pretty high. Yeah. And but they're not supposed to be able to do magic in prison.
No, there's locks down on the prison because obviously lots of magical mythical beings.
But because it's inherent in her, she's able to do it. And it's Marion's birthday, or it's about to be her birthday.
Yes, nearly
and
midnight.
She wants to give her this present of a do-over, basically. You know, she can pick any point in her past when she wants to go back to. And Marion's like, yeah, no, you're just nuts.
Really
Tansy.
though.
Nah.
Yes. And she gives her a but ugly necklace, doesn't she? For it. And she's like, thanks.
Nice. Lovely. Yeah. And it needs to boot up. She goes, because she doesn't believe her. She's like, give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Come on, love. Yeah, so they're like staging a prison break, aren't they, somewhere else? And everything, the stars align and it just falls into place so that this magic will work because everything else has gone offline.
Yeah, that's it. So it happens for her, and boom, she's back 10 years ago, and she goes straight into, she's just been kidnapped.
Yeah, it's a few days before the wedding.
Yeah, it's like not quite a week, is it? I think.
No.
Before the wedding and before Nick's going to get killed. And that's when she chooses to go back to, because that was the moment when she was with him, I guess, and she realized what a dick Robin Hood was.
But this is it's the point of everything, isn't it? It's knowing that he's not going to come, knowing that in a few days she's going to be married, and then her husband is going to be husband is going to be killed, and she's going to be framed for it. So she's got a few days to figure out what the hell's going on.
And that's what she wants to do. But of course, she comes back in, and to everybody else, there's been no days. There's been no
she comes back
years.
in with a boom. Is how to put it.
Yeah, she really, really does. It's like all of her maidenly behavior that she has gone. It's been 10 years in prison, and now she says exactly what she wants. She does exactly what she wants. She's the hardened kind of criminal, even though she wasn't a criminal, but she's ready to be one now.
Full force. So she goes in, she sacks her handmaiden who seems to be I think she was bad mouthing her and all sorts of bits and pieces going on.
Quite Minority Report to me. Do you know Minority Report?
I've heard of it. It's a film.
Okay, it's the Tom Cruise film, which is probably really old now because time is a crazy thing.
We love the 90s.
Yeah, and it's like they've got these like people with psychic abilities who can predict when someone's going to commit a crime. And then the police go and arrest you based on what you haven't done yet, but you're going to do. And it's like and it's interesting. It's like the morality of that. Well, how do you know? Could they have chosen a different path? But
that's quite cool.
Because your face is like, that's not on.
That's not really not fair.
Yeah, it's actually a really good film. And it's a little bit like that when she gets back for her handmaiden. So what happened was, all these people have wronged Marion. Not only has she been framed for the murder, but like we'll get into what the judge does like towards the end of the plot bit, and like all the people in Nottingham just turn on her, and her own maid, when she's in prison, like takes her diaries and has them printed
Oh,
in
just
the
stabs her in the
paper and
back,
stuff.
don't she?
And it was something about like the fair as well. Although I didn't feel
Oh,
like
it's
that
that
was a
she wanted to
fair
be the
thing.
queen, didn't she? And she,
Yeah,
yeah, so
Mayday
she,
Queen or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
and she rigs it so
yeah,
something to do with playing the piano, and she's the best piano player. So she gets like this. I think
yeah.
it's, to me, it's like when your kids are at the fair and they want to hook a
Hmm.
duck and they've got that god awful crappy little plastic tiara thing that the kid
Yeah,
has to have, and you spend like 20 quid on it. It's one of those sort of things.
yeah.
But Marion really wants it, and this
She
woman
really
gets it by
wants it.
lying.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's.
fun.
Although I think later on we find out she wasn't, but
Yeah.
don't know. Um, yeah. So she kind of she turns on her for that, but
Yeah,
obviously
you
everybody
off.
else has no bloody clue why, because
What's
they
going
haven't
on?
even
Yeah.
done the things yet. I mean, there must be some people floating around that know what they're intending to do.
Yeah, none of them are the nicest of people. They're all kind of
Oh,
morally
shit.
questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was trying to think of the word.
Yeah, morally
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
The
They're
new
all
one.
slightly bastardly if we're looking
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, I like that word. Um, yeah, so she turfs them and Nick's like looking at her like
Yeah,
this isn't the Marion I know.
yeah.
What's
She
going
comes in
on?
swearing as well, doesn't she? And he's like, "What?
Yeah,
I've never heard you swear before."
yeah, she's like she hasn't seen good food for an age,
Oh,
so she's like
chicken legs.
and she's got her weight back on her because where she's lost weight in prison and she's like cupping her boobs and his eyes are like out on stalks because she's
Yeah,
like, oh, my boobs are back.
I love these. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, she comes in and everything that the whole I mean, and she's like really open about what her plan is as well. She's like, I'm gonna burn Nottingham to the ground.
yeah. Basically,
Everybody, my revenge plan, I'm gonna find out who killed you. We're gonna sort this all out, and he's just like, no, is this all a ploy? Is this
yeah,
because you're still on Robin's side? Are you just trying to
yeah.
throw
You're
me
trying to
off?
trick me.
You trying to get me on your side because she's just like, she's like, God, were you this handsome back then?
Mm. Well, this is it. He's kind of kidnapped her to marry her, and she's like,
Mm.
"Actually, you've proposed. I accept." And she's like,
Yeah. You're like,
yeah.
what
So,
minute? What?
no,
But
all
you're
of
not
this is
supposed to
wrong.
want to. What's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
to get him. But
Mm.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
all very well done. I did like it.
Yeah. So what happens after that? There's just lots of stuff.
Well, this is it. So this is kind of where the plot goes, because it's now, it reminded me of like Cluedo, and she's kind of now they're on a mission to go and find
Yeah.
out everything that has happened along the way,
Uh-huh.
and they start kind of meeting all the people, and then
Yeah.
we go, and so she goes out and she starts trying to find people and figure out what's
Hmm.
going on.
Yeah.
So
There's like stuff with Friar Tuck because they're
yep,
trying
so
to
they go
arrange
and
the wedding.
yep, so I think they go and see him at some point soon, and he's just a
Yeah.
dastardly chappy as well. So
Yeah. It's typical like the church stealing and not
mhm.
sharing it with the poor. And you kind of learn a bit more about Robin that he's doing the typical Robin thing,
Yes,
but everybody's like you're just looking at it from a different angle in the well, if you're robbing the rich to give it to the poor, why are the poor still poor?
why
Everybody's
are we all still
really
starving?
poor.
Mm.
What's going on? And he's got this idea that he wants to have like this utopia out in the
Yeah,
forest and
out in the woods. Yeah,
nobody's much keen on it.
no,
Why do we
but
want to live in the woods? Could we invest
could we
in the
bring it
infrastructure
in?
in the city, please?
But they still all love him, don't they? They still
But
have
they
that.
do.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original tailing there,
Hmm.
apart from
Yeah,
Harry, and she's like, no, not having it.
that's it. She's not interested.
But there is some dissension in the ranks because we do the Friar Tuck thing, and Nick wants to hang everybody. So it's I love that. And it's like, yep, bring him into it. We're gonna hang him. So it's Friar
Yeah.
Tuck. Come on, he's a religious person. We can't do that, though. He's not been great. We can't really hang him.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's put him in the prison. Hang him later, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah, their gallows must be
Definitely.
like the length
I've
of a
got some
pier.
quotes with stuff. Yeah, that's well, hang on. I'm gonna have to find one.
Oh,
We'll talk
okay.
about more banter later, but there was one particularly relevant to that, which you just said. What was it? Marion's talking to him. Here it is. Oh, the Friar Tuck, because she's trying to convince him not to, and he decides later on to send him to the wicked, ugly,
To
and
the
bad
prison, yeah.
prison. And she's like, "It's very sweet of you to extend his torture for me." That's where she goes with that one. Oh no, have I not put it? Oh, you're not the most popular fella in town, Sugar Plum. I think it's all the gallows you use as lawn ornaments. Because when you say
Yeah,
it's
just
literally like
there,
everywhere.
everywhere.
He's like, and there's one bit they mentioned that there's like a horse that looked at him wrong, so he sent him to prison. He just didn't like. He's like,
Yeah.
off you pop. You
Yeah, I was
know?
going to say he is the definite grumpy in this
He's
situation, bless him.
very, very grumpy. Yeah, she's
Oh,
quite chaotic, and he's kind of quiet and introverted. You know, yeah, doesn't like people much, which is not
no.
surprising when
Yeah,
you,
well,
yeah,
the gargoyles have had a bad rap, haven't they? So we're kind of
yeah.
digressing. So
Yes, we are.
it
Let's
always.
carry on.
So yeah, that's kind of how it goes for me. So you get
Hmm.
as we said, we'll talk about the banter, and there's a lot of it going on, and they
Yeah,
discuss all of the situations, and she's pushing forward to try and go, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and he's still like, but are we though? Why are you still doing it? We are still going to get
yeah,
married. You're not going to
yeah.
talk me out of it. And then they go to find the merry men, and she gives him
Hmm.
a list. She's trying to prove to him
Yeah,
that it is
that's
still true.
it. She's
Yeah.
doing these little things to prove it. I think
Hmm.
when they go to see Friar Tuck, she tells him about a secret tunnel as well
Yeah,
or
underneath
something.
the
Yeah.
church.
So like everyone's going, well, she wouldn't really be telling you these things if she was
If she
trying
was
to help.
lying, yeah.
But he's just, yeah, obviously it's like it's very quick for him. She's gone from screaming
Yeah.
and crying, being devoted to
Yeah,
Robin
dragged over his
to,
shoulder.
yeah, just suddenly in the space of a meal, because
Yeah,
she came
yeah.
back like at lunchtime. And like suddenly
She's
she's an
been out.
entirely different person.
Yeah.
Like, have you had a psychotic break from
Yeah. Did you
like
have a nap and woke up at
yeah,
totally different
what
person?
happened? Definitely.
But yeah, so we
Yeah.
get the Friar Tuck things out of the way. Then we meet Little John, who
Hmm.
is part of the Merry Men, but he's not. He's only a young lad, isn't he? I'm kind of, I
Yeah.
think, 18-ish.
Yeah,
And
rather than the little John that we imagine, which is
yeah, yeah,
usually a
yeah.
big bloke. Yeah.
But yeah, and he's not happy with what Robin is doing. So
Hmm.
she puts him up in her old castle, and this is where all the little snippets of new things start to come about.
Yeah, there's like she finds out that Robin was stealing her money when her dad was
Yeah,
ill because she wasn't taught how to do bookkeeping because she's a
yeah, yeah,
maid and she mustn't think about those
yeah.
kind of things.
But he comes in
Um,
and he starts siphoning bits and pieces off.
yeah, that's it. And there's been talk of a scepter that's been stolen, and then Little John brings it back, and that's kind of integral to the plot. But I think the thing is like because we're not going to talk about the entire book, all
No,
those
it'd
little
take a while.
detail stuff is like kind of what you pick up as you go. Yeah. Did you want to wrap up with the judge, or are you good with where we're at?
Well, no, I think we should. He's not Donkey Kong. He's
He's
King
not
Louis,
yeah.
but his
I
name is
know why you
Kong.
said it. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is kind of one of the big bits that stood out for me, that she's
Hmm.
going through all this stuff, and her dad was quite a high ranking person within in
Hmm.
Nottingham. And then she goes to this place that they all know about, and it's actually a brothel.
Yeah.
And so she turns up to
It's
have a
their
chat
first
with,
date. She's trying to tell
yeah,
them it's
she's
their
yeah,
first date. He's like,
come
it's
on,
only
let's
a
just
date.
go.
No.
Yeah. And you just kind of find that all of these other high ranking people there are all there after the young maidenly women, and they're
Yeah.
just awful, awful people under this
It's just
guise
that
of,
hypocrisy thing that's going
yeah,
on because they have like so when you're reading it, the good and the bad people are literally referred to as good with a capital G, bad with a
bad.
capital
Yep.
B, because but it's more like a class system
Yeah.
kind of thing than anything else, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are poor, you are the bad person. But yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much those deemed bad are actually pretty good, and those deemed good
Yeah.
are awfully bad.
Which we'll probably go into with villains, I guess, a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah.
But yes.
This is what we mean about the plot. Everything
Yeah,
we go
it's
to talk
twisty
about
turny.
is
Yeah, it's
involved in kind
in
of
that
the
bit there.
topics we've got.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's there, and what happened was when she was arrested and being put on trial, he'd basically said to her, "Look, I'll get you off if you give me your virginity."
Yeah, Maidenhead for me.
Creepy
Yeah,
bastard.
Dad's mate who'd known her since she was tiny.
Yeah, she makes
Oh,
that mention, and he was like at my fourth birthday party, and I
yeah.
used to call him uncle, like, bleh.
Well, this is it. We haven't mentioned Alan Adale.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So at the beginning of every chapter, there is a little snippet from the paper, and Alan
Hmm.
A. Dale is this kind of tabloid journo who puts
Mhm.
all of the royal stuff in the papers,
Yeah,
and there's a little snippet of each. It's kind of a weird Bridgerton thing, isn't it, where
it
Miss
kind
Watson
of is. Yeah, that's
puts it.
true. Really, really
Yeah,
like
anyway,
a
my
version of
brain's just,
Lady Whistledown.
yeah, that's it. My brain's just kind of gone in the weirdest sort of way,
Yeah,
like a Made in Chelsea versus The Only Way is Essex sort of different.
yeah.
Anyway, I've kind of lost my train of thought now.
I
Yeah,
did
so
that
he
earlier,
puts
didn't
bits
I?
in, yeah. And then, yeah, Marion kind of lets stuff slip, and
Yeah,
Kong's wife is
yeah.
pulled into it and finds out what he's really doing. So, yeah,
Kong's
there is
wife, who is
comeuppance.
Bagheera,
Bagheera.
and she's like a panther shifter. She
Mm-hmm.
literally tears
Tears
him
him a
a
new
new
one.
one. Yeah, exactly. And they're just standing there watching, like, well, we didn't technically do it, but we
No,
got what we wanted.
yeah.
So
We're still going to enjoy the show
that's
while it's
it.
on.
Job done. And I
Mhm.
think by this point, because that's like the first point where Nick is kind of okay, she's showing a lot of proof, and she's dropping little things into conversations with him about stuff he told her, but he hasn't told her yet. He
Yes.
told her before, and he's like, well, nobody knows that. He's not a chatty
No,
person.
no.
He don't talk to anyone really. um so there's like all these little bits of proof, and then when she tells him about what the judge had done, he doesn't even really question it. He's just like, I'll go arrest
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's kind of a nice little turning point for when they're getting on side and they're becoming a bit more of a team about it, rather than him
Yeah. Him
wondering
stepping back.
what's going on with her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's 2 steps forward. He's 4 steps back, but he's catching
Yeah,
up.
he's catching up. Exactly. Right then.
Let's
So
move on.
let's whoosh forward to the ending.
The ending. Yeah. So we're
Okay.
starting at the end.
Starting at the end. Well, kind of ish. We're
Hmm.
getting to the end. I think so. We're going to go fairly vague on this, but obviously, if you don't want to know anything about the end, you can
Move
always
on.
just skip forward to the next little interlude type music to move on to the next section.
Mhm.
Is that how it goes? I don't know.
No, I'm
Maybe it
doing the
should be
Wayne's
for the
World thing.
next. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Diddly diddly.
That's it.
So
Oh, we
yeah.
won't be able to steal that because of
No,
copyright.
we'll have to write to Mike Myers
Shame.
and see what he says.
So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happens.
Yes.
Obviously, they get to the end and wedding and finding out who did what and
Yes.
everything without us spoiling it.
Yeah.
So how
It
did you feel about the ending?
um okay, well, yeah, I liked it. I don't know if it's the writeriness in me that
Oh,
I saw it coming.
okay. Oh, see,
I
I was gonna say, I don't know if I was having a bit more of a dumb moment, but a couple of things I thought were gonna go a different way, and then they didn't.
okay.
And then also one of the things to do with Nick, he's kind of linked, and the Gargoyles kind of linked to the Pinocchio story, aren't they?
Yes.
Like the retelling of it. And there was some things about that. If you know the very original, very, very dark original Pinocchio story, that would help you to know what was going to happen, but I don't know it.
Oh, I don't
So,
either.
okay. So I didn't have that moment of when it happened and being like, oh, I see why they were saying that and likening this
Do that.
character to someone else to give you that hint, that clue. I don't think it matters. I think sometimes that's the beauty, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
don't know that thing, it's not going to
Oh, yeah.
spoiler it for you.
No.
If you know, if you recognize the stories all the time in retellings, then
Yeah, you know exactly what's going to
you
happen
know what's
next.
going to happen. I guess you can then wonder how they're going to shift it, how they're going to make it, twist it a little bit. But yeah,
Well, I
so
think
that
this
had
is
gone
it.
over my head.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
think there were a lot of threads that it could have been, and I just maybe pulled on the right one.
hmm
I did.
What I did like
Mm,
was like at the end. So this bit is going to be like a spoiler of
spoiler.
the happily ever after bit. So skip forward if you don't want it. But that because Marion could have become the ruler of Nottingham, but she still stuck to her guns in wanting to just leave. and then we'll
just
go to
trotted
the
around.
beach and start their own, like, live in a nicer community and take all the gargles with them. And I loved that they kept that rather
Yeah,
than it
rather
be
than
the
going
thing
back and
of like,
taking the
oh, I'm
crown
in
and
charge, let's make it all better. She's like, no, you
yeah,
know what? It's a bad lot. I'm not interested. I'm
yeah.
going.
I've
Yeah,
done
I
my
like that.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, but yeah, I don't know. I said, yeah, it's just where your brain went at the time. Mine clicked in when I had a real titter when Little John is in the room trying to draw the scepter.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and so the scepter that we mentioned,
Yeah.
it's a very focal point to something. And he
Yeah.
said, oh no, I threw it in a pot of gold and melted it away. So we'll never find it again. Whatever they
Yeah.
wanted it
Yeah.
for, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they get somebody to come in and they get the scepter back.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out what it looks like so they can find it. And he's
Yeah.
drawn it. And he's like, it's just a stick with a head.
Yeah.
Sat there. And then my brain started clicking in when he's talking to Trevor, and Trevor's like, oh yeah, he's not there. He's just this. And it was
Hmm.
weird trying to place Little John on what had gone on there. So that's why
Yeah.
my brain went that
Yeah.
way.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. See, I don't think I necessarily picked up on that. There's also the thing that he smells funny, but then
yeah,
all the merry
all
men
of them,
smell
all
a
of
bit
the
funny, don't
yeah,
they?
all of the
So,
good bad men and the bad good
yeah.
men. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, so basically, again, all the spoilers, we keep saying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a wraith that is there,
Yeah.
a shape shifting kind of
Yeah.
person who has been in and out of the plot from the
Yes.
beginning, who has
Which makes
been
it one of those things, because if
yeah,
they can look like anybody, then you
and
don't
act
know
like
whether
them.
to
Yeah,
trust
yeah.
anybody.
So this one it pulls the memories, doesn't it? So it could have
Yeah.
even easily been Marion sort of feeding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said this to me. And Nick
Hmm.
knows how they worked because they were used in the wars, the gargoyles 14
Hmm.
years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've got this wraith who comes and she's actually been working with Robin.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So we realize that King Richard, is it King? No, it's King John, isn't it? So
Mm.
John is the king in this one, not Richard. And
I
then
think
John
he
goes,
was, and he died, and then
and
Richard.
then Richard
So
comes in.
Richard is the king,
Yes.
but they're
But he's
brothers. Yeah.
gone as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of figured out that this wraith has been going through all these people, killing them off
Yeah.
to get Robin on the throne, because
Yeah.
Robin is the secret love child of King
Jonathan.
John.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that is what the scepter's all about.
And I think that was the bit that I thought would go a different way, because initially where they were talking about Marion's mum
Yes,
and
being
her dad being young and having a very close relationship with, because the cousin is her dad's cousin,
yes,
but Marion's mum was very much friends
with Jonathan.
Jonathan. And it was like, and some people said, oh, she had loads of affairs and stuff. So I thought it was going to be her.
Yeah.
But in the end,
It
it
was
wasn't her, but it didn't really
Robin.
matter anyway, because everybody was gone and she was the next in line to the throne anyway.
Yeah, devil. Yeah.
So,
Well, this is it. We find out the Wraith is kind of female and she's in love with Robin, same as everybody else's.
yeah.
And as you epically named it, the mantis moment.
Yeah.
They're all in the forest having a bit of a bicker. And he's turning against his lady who's been
Yeah.
killing everyone for him. So she
Mhm.
just bites his head off.
Yeah, she's had enough by that point. She hates Marion because he was going to marry Marion, even though they were never technically
together
betrothed. Yeah, like engaged
or
but
intimate at all, really, are they? They're very
it's weird.
Hmm.
Well, other than some gross stuff that he does, but yeah, I didn't feel bad for him getting his head bitten off. You felt like he could have had a redemption arc.
Yeah, I was seeing if there was going to be a redemption, but no.
Yeah,
there's definitely not now.
I think
with
what I
his head.
liked as well at the ending was the way that, even though through most of it, I mean, like we were saying about how they're quite accepting of their stalkerish behavior of each other, it's obviously not a very functional type of relationship.
No.
Because of trust, and because Nick feels like for a long time he doesn't feel like, even if they do want to be together, it's ever going to trump Robin, because they're supposed to be like the true love until they find out later.
Of course it's not.
No,
God, you're not.
we know that. And also Marion's become very like hardened and independent, which is actually from something Nick originally said to her, about not trusting anyone, not relying on anyone but herself. But the ending means in order for them to succeed and survive the ending, they have to have given up those hang-ups. So I thought that worked.
Yes, it did.
Like quite well, quite
Yes.
neatly. Yeah.
It was very good.
Yes. Oh, is that
Villains.
everything we've got to say on endings?
Yeah,
Villains.
we're getting on to the villains.
Yeah, let's go.
They're everywhere.
Okay.
Bad guys.
Bad guys. We've kind of covered a little bit of this already because it was impossible not to.
Well, yeah, they're everywhere. You lift a lid, open a door, there is one there.
There's
sat
a bad
waiting
guy.
for you.
And it's like, yeah, the badness and goodness seems to be like they think you're inherently born one or the other, but it seems like you still get to choose.
Yeah, you do get to make your choices. But the worst guys, so the ones that she meets in the prison, seem to be pretty much the best guys.
This is it. I think it's like they still do stuff which is questionable. I mean,
there's murder. There's murder and just
there's murder.
general.
But I mean, this is a comedy book. Clearly, it's not taking itself seriously.
All that hanging. What else do you expect?
This is it. You know, you don't normally go. I mean, I say you don't normally. We probably like a fair few heroes who have done the odd murder.
Did a whole section on like morally grey characters.
Yeah, look,
probably.
And they say that about the gargoyles, don't they? That they're grey. They're not either. But I think probably world building's a good place to go into a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah, so in the prison she meets loads of so Tansy is the Hatter, who everybody thinks is mental and nobody will trust, but she is the one who kind of starts the journey for her. And I don't know if she comes back and meets her. So Tansy's goal is to just end up at Neverland Beach because she's lived a horrible life because of men twisting and turning and reshaping her. So I kind of think is it stated, or I kind of thought it was insinuated that Tansy went back to, and kind of that's how I saw it in my head. If she didn't, I don't care. That's how I'm seeing it. That she kind of went back.
I think because what Marion does throughout it is, even though she hasn't met these people yet, because she hasn't gone to the prison, she obviously knows stuff similar in the way she did to Nick. So she contacts them,
a lot of them, and they all
her information,
and every single one of them comes to help.
Yeah. That's it. And I think that was the thing. They do bad stuff, but they have this kind of,
it's honor amongst thieves, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. In a way
so much loyalty.
Yeah, a lot of loyalty and just fun relationships, and she kind of finds that a little bit with her maid as well by the end.
Yes.
In what she kind of didn't give her a chance a little bit. I think it was like a battle between old Marion and new Marion a little bit. I think
there were a few crossed wires between them as well, because there's kind of jealousy on her name. What is her name? I'm thinking Clarinda, that's it.
What a name.
So she's
makes
kind
me
of
think chlorine.
Well, yeah, my brain was kind of like trying to chlamydia or something in there, but that's very different. Yeah, don't really want to say that, but I've done it now anyway. So there's kind of, she's very beautiful, but there's jealousy there that she's not maidenly. She would never be looked at as maidenly, so you kind of have to get your place how and where you can get it. So
that's it. There's motivations behind some of the criminal activity, not always though.
No, some of them are just absolute arseholes, and usually the older men who need to be put in their place. But some of them are different. So Guyla of Gisborne, she's in there. She's a woman who works in the castle, and again, she's not a great person. She's got it in from Marion at the beginning, but again, she's kind of a character that you have to sort of suppose, actually, you didn't have it great either.
Well, I think that was kind of the thing with both her and the Wraith. They're both kind of in love with Robin, because he's like this hero status, and I think she'd fallen for somebody else before that, probably Jonathan or something. I don't know who it was. Or her dad, I don't know. And so, it's only really like so Robin is like a villain in that he's like pure toxic masculinity. He feels so entitled to everything,
Yeah.
and yeah, and he just expects these
Yeah.
women that fawn over him to put up with his disgusting behavior and
This is
stuff.
it, because there's a war at the beginning, which we did mention,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just because of who he is, he's kind of put up at that level as captain, and
Mm-hmm.
he rules over everything, and they send the gargoyles in to just take all of the hits. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
because that's how we do it. That's what we're supposed to do. We're better than you. So yeah, it's
yeah.
always been kind of given to
I
him.
think
So
that's it. I think that's what this book is doing with like they draw quite a parallel between like the what society puts on the maids and how they're supposed to act, and also with the gargoyles and some of the other creatures and stuff who they say aren't real, um, just to put up with stuff. So it like with the war thing, that made me think. So one of the reasons everybody in his army, like, is it his army? The guard or something, the gargoyle guard that Nick has. They followed him from the war because he made the decision
yeah,
to not be the cannon fodder.
yeah,
Because
to
he's like,
not follow orders.
yeah, that's it. And I think like I don't know about you, but I feel like it's when we were younger, it was kind of impressed upon you that a deserter is like a terrible
Oh, the
person. They're a
worst thing, yeah.
coward. But what about the generals that are sitting back, sending these people in to die
This
in
is
front
it.
of
This is
them?
it.
And Nick just goes,
No.
no, no, we're not doing that. We're going. We're not going to be
Yeah,
used that
we're
way anymore.
mm,
So yeah, it's that question of again, it's that morally grey thing. What's the right thing? What's the wrong thing? I think we
this is
kind of
it.
know, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we are aware, but it's having the
yeah,
people to step up and actually be the Marion
this
and
is
question
it.
it. And
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, and that's she calls him like a hammer, doesn't she? Because he
yes,
just when he
blunt force in
is
there.
set on something, he'll just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, get out of his way, kind of thing.
yeah, really, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literal hammered fist.
Oh yeah, I think we kind of I was gonna talk about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves and Sheriff of Nottingham here, but we've already done
We've
that. I
already
couldn't
said that.
wait. I jumped the gun
Honourable mention just for Alan Rickman in all of the
again
roles that he
because it's
does.
worth it. Yeah,
Mm,
best villain ever.
seriously, if you've not seen it, there's a film called Dogma that he's in, which I love. I love Dogma, and he's fantastic as an angel. He's so
Mhm.
pissy, and it's wicked. Go
He's
watch it.
pissy. Yeah, he's not a villain in that one so
No,
much,
no,
but
no,
he's
but
just
he's
pissy.
just, oh,
Yeah,
he's
he's so
so
good.
fantastic. Oh, I love that film.
Only film I don't like him in where he's a villain. It and it's like yuck is Love Actually because he is a
Oh,
villain
no,
in
no,
that.
no, no,
No,
no.
no,
I've never been. Everybody's like, you should watch it at Christmas. I can't
don't
stand
do
him. I
it.
just want to
Don't do it.
punch. Oh, Emma Thompson, just punch him in the face with a car. Oh,
This is it. Yeah.
so awful.
Well, I don't think she could. She loved him too much.
Oh, she did, but
No, I don't mean the
oh,
characters. I just meant
oh,
Emma
him as a real
Thompson.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody loves Emma. You have to.
Yeah.
He's lovely.
hmm Yeah.
So
This is turning into like just Alan
this is turning
Rickman
into
episode. We'll just call it that.
this
Alan
is it.
Rickman.
Alan Rickman,
Yeah.
come and join us.
Yeah. Everybody's going to come along thinking it's
Yeah,
just going to
very.
be
Yeah,
about something quite different to
it's
what it
not a
is.
fan club. Sorry. Well, it's a
Yeah.
little one of two.
Well, okay. Right. So, next section.
Words, dialogue, banter. We've got it.
We'll try and put ours together for it.
So yeah, dialogue and banter. This is one where we could talk for like 17 hours, I think.
Yeah, you know how I like a quote, and I could have gone on
Well,
forever.
yeah, for a long time. But it's a weird one because when you think about it, if I sort of said at the beginning, what is the standout point of Nick other than him being a gargoyle, is that he doesn't talk to anyone.
This is it. Yeah, it's
He was
quite
like,
interesting. I did put that down. Okay, so I think one of the points we want to make about the dialogue and the banter is if that is what you like in your romance, this is
yeah,
what
this
this
is
book
it.
is strong in.
Yeah.
Most of it is just the enjoyment of the back and forth between the characters and like the silly things they say and the dry
Yeah.
sense of humor. Yeah, massively. This is a long book, surprisingly. We didn't realize how long it is.
Yeah.
So if it's your thing for the
Oh,
banter,
it's
then
all the way
you're
through.
gonna be in your element.
Mhm.
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah. So Nick doesn't say a lot, and he thinks he's really awkward, but he always knows the right things to say to Marion,
Yeah,
doesn't
at
he?
the perfect time.
Yeah. Just have you got any like little quotes from nice things he said? Or
No, I didn't do that. I did all the nicknames. So
oh,
she's the
okay.
chatty one.
Yeah,
And yeah,
God, yeah.
she's well, I found it really, I don't know if it was meant to be this way. So he's Nicholas and he never, so they knew each other when they were kids. We've not mentioned that at
Yeah.
all.
No.
And yeah, he loved her from very, very young. And she called him Nick. And from
Yeah.
that kind of time,
Hmm.
he likes to be called Nick, and whenever she calls him Nick, that's it, he loves it, and he's always put so much emphasis and thought into the names. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like when she gives him so many and makes so much effort to keep giving him these new
Yeah.
little quirky nicknames, I loved that. And yeah, that was the thing that kind of really stood out for me with the dialogue as well. So
Yeah.
I
But
wrote
he
down a
knows
load
the
of
one
those.
that means the most to him is just that she's the only person that calls him Nick. She was the
Yeah,
first
that's the
person, the
main
only
one.
person. That's just what he likes being called
Yeah.
from her. But yeah, she's like working through all of these
Yeah, to
amazing
see which he
nicknames.
likes and which he doesn't like. And then there's
Yeah.
one she says again quite later. She says one at the beginning and then a bit later on. And he's like, you've already said that one. She goes,
Oh
does
yeah, he
that mean you
catches
like
her
it?
out on
Do you
it,
not like
doesn't
it
he?
then? What is
Yeah.
it? So, but yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
it comes to this thing, she comes out of it and you're like, what do you think of that one?
yeah. He's
No,
like, no, no. Yeah, so
no.
I wrote a chunk of those down. So like Snickerdoodle, they're all very American-y ones for me. Cutie
Yeah,
Patootie, Fluffy Muffy made me giggle.
fluffy muffin. I got
Fluffy
that one.
Muffy, Fluffy Muffy.
Nummy muffin.
Nummy Muffin, I got Prince Handsome Pants.
Prince Handsome Pants. Yes,
Yeah,
I did like that
yeah, just
one.
be a bit more literal. Handsome Pants.
Yeah, that's it.
We do. So yeah, I did kind of like all of those. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't do quotes. Quotes is your thing.
Okay, that's fine. I got one from when they're having a bit of a back and forth about how to treat Friar Tuck as well, or someone else. And he's like, I'm a gargoyle, not a gentleman. And she went, you could be both, Sugar Bean. I've seen you do it. So
Yes.
it's like these little like, but and he's like, when have you seen me do it and why? And it's just these little things that they say about each other that no one else has noticed.
Hmm.
So some of the sweet things he says to her are like, you know, um, I believe her over everyone. Like he'll just put that out there as a
Yeah,
statement,
yeah,
That's like very to the point. She
yeah,
can say whatever she wants, I'll do it,
yeah. Job
kind of
done.
thing.
Perfect man for her. But
Yeah.
yeah, with him and the other gargoyles as well,
Mm.
it kind of, as we go further into the book, he starts talking more and more. And it's the same as you
Yeah.
just said. It's that I just like talking to you. This is the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
It's,
it.
yeah, you're the
Hmm.
one who I can do this with. But
Yeah.
he starts chatting to his guard a little bit more. And yeah, they're kind of pushing the stuff back at him how he is. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was, I thought, really, really
I loved
sweet.
it with the guard when they were like trying to help him court
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, what are you doing? Go back
What's
out
going
there.
on? Yeah, it was so sweet.
Bless
Um,
them.
yeah, and he's just cool with some of the stuff he comes up with. I did like when he called Robin a narcissistic terrorist covered in tree sap as well. It's like he's
Yeah.
just got this very dry way about
Yeah,
him.
way with words.
Yeah, whereas Marion's quite chaotic, I think, in her
Oh God,
dialogue.
yes.
She's all over the place, but it kind of makes sense. She knows where she's going with it. So
Mm,
yeah, there's lots. It could go
yes.
on, but really
Yeah.
it's probably easiest for you to read it and find
Yeah,
out.
basically. Don't take our
Yeah,
word for it. Do it yourself.
yeah, that's it. She goes, I've fallen tragically in love with you, dipshit. She says to him at one point.
See, that's how you know it is true love when you can turn
Yeah.
around and do. Seriously, what the hell did you do that for, you dickhead? And you know that they
This
just
is
go,
it.
yeah, right, and carry
Yeah, and
on.
that's it. It never bothers him. He's like, yeah, it's like fine. There
Find
was,
somebody
I
who.
think, one that like cements their kind of dynamic is he says, "Fuck 'em all" is my family motto. She's like, mine too. What do you think that means? And he's like, a psychiatrist might say we're both a bit antisocial. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably about right for the
Yeah.
pair of them.
Yeah, there's a psychiatrist in the prison. Doesn't seem to be the nicest of
Oh
people. So,
no, she was, yeah, rough.
yes, that's a
Um,
story for another day.
yeah, I did relate to Nick and he's not wanting to talk to people. I thought it was very,
Yeah.
not so much the fuck 'em all bit for myself,
Yeah.
but definitely the like that he says when he talks about how he deals with his team and he's like, the system reduced the number of people Nicholas has to speak to each day, which was always one of his main goals as a leader. So his main thing is, if I can get out of talking to people as much as
I can.
possible.
Well, yeah, they had it.
Job
It was
done.
all on a Sunday, wasn't it? It's like everybody comes in and they deal with their own thing. Bring it to me one day a
Yeah,
week, and then I don't
that's
have to
it,
deal with it the
done.
rest of the week.
Which is how people should deal with meetings and management a lot.
Really, they should.
Yeah.
Should we schedule another meeting? No,
Yeah.
just put it in an email.
That's it. Unless
know
it's
you
someone
can.
you like talking to, then it's okay.
Then your work day is gone. Finished.
That's it. Right.
All right. Let's build the world, shall we?
Let's build the world. Yeah, that's the last one, isn't it? Let's go. Oh.
I don't know if it's a different thing for you. So me, where I am, I have been to Nottingham several times. I live not very far away. I've been to forests and
What's it like? Yeah, it just exists in my head as a Robin
Foresty.
Hood place.
Well, the last time I went to Nottingham, we went to watch a band play and it was really manic busy. And I was super surprised by how busy it was at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So it's very different to what they were dealing with. But yeah, foresty and pretty. It's quite, so my world is kind of already built in here. So I don't need, I don't maybe need as much as other people
I kind of put a similar thing, but obviously not for the real Nottingham. I was thinking more about the fact that it's because we all know the story so well.
Yeah.
The brain sort of automatically puts it in this like medieval type.
It's just, is there a rooster with a guitar or a lute? Robin Hood, a little John walking through the forest.
Yes. Exactly.
That would have
maybe
been
not that
wicked.
one so much, but yeah, there's little cute rabbits bouncing.
Yeah,
you know,
with arrows jabbing people in the eye. That would have been cool.
Yeah, foxes in dresses. So yeah, I think that bit's kind of inherent. But what was different is that I think it's portrayed as Nottingham's being a bit like backwards.
Yes,
because it's still like that. It's like feudal type of society.
Yeah.
Whereas in other places,
phones and stuff exist there, and TVs did. You don't expect them to, but they do. But yeah, not here.
And it kind of reminded me a bit of. Do you remember when I did Untied Kingdom? We talked about that back when we did the trope one. In that it's the alternative London, and the technology is not kept up, and it's that kind of dynamic, isn't it? It is out there in some places, but they don't all have it. And
well, they still cling to the double standards and the patriarchy and the maids and the scholars and the kings and stuff. So
but they've got places that are like LA out there and stuff. So I don't know if it's even meant to be England or if it's just a place called Nottingham in a different world. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I suppose my brain didn't go there at all. It just kind of went. Gargoyles, though, we haven't really.
That was what I was going to say. The only other kind of world building stuff, and I want to pick your brain on it to see what you thought of the world building for like the lore for gargoyles and how they kind of come about and stuff.
I thought it was really interesting how it was done. So the way I got it was that they were created. So it seems they had different roles. So some were created to be like pleasure creatures. Because some of them, she kind of looks down at one and it's like, I probably shouldn't be looking at that, but I can't really miss it. So they were crafted by people, and Nick's mother put a lot of care and attention and precision into him. So that is why he is deemed one of the most attractive, because his face and his body and everything is perfectly done. Apart from a bits of him, his right side's a bit. It's
like the magic means that there's patches of them that are left in stone. So I take it are they all stone or some of them is kind of human?
No, this was it, because some of them seemed to be all.
But so they're very heavy and thick and like just
big,
large
sturdy,
scaled and stuff.
and they're perceived to be not real. They're real but not real. That's the thread, which, well, we mentioned Pinocchio earlier. They are real but not real. So the magic, I don't even know where the magic came from, but this thing came and made them all into people.
I think it's like something that's done to them, isn't it? They do whoever is doing it makes the sculpture, and they grow. That's the thing. They're made as children and they can grow.
And they do
I guess they could make them as adults too. I'm hoping that's the case with some of them. Yeah, because otherwise that is wrong.
Let's
not go there. So they inhabit this strange space where people don't really see them as
anything
real.
Well, they kind of they put them, I think Nick and Marion both say they're on the same level. The gargoyles are treated like the women. That they are kind of not they're necessary but not really thought much of.
Yes, exactly. They can be treated how they want to treat them. They can put them in certain boxes and
they're basically dumb as a box of rocks is how they're seen. So when when they're out fighting and Nick pulls them away from the front line, nobody is punished because they just think he doesn't know any better. And he was
he was too dumb.
Go left, he went right instead.
So he can lean into them thinking that they're just stupid, basically. And it's quite a surprise that he's managed to progress
to become the sheriff. He basically he runs Nottingham.
So there's this tension between them because he's worried about how her reputation will be damaged from her seemingly wanting to be with a gargoyle, because gargoyles are not, they have to pay for sex and stuff like that. They're like, they don't believe they can have true loves. It doesn't feel like that's something that they can't have. They're not, they're not real enough apparently to have them.
But what I found, so I've read a lot and I've written some, it's never the fact that they don't really, not in all books, but most, they don't not want to be gargoyles. They're happy within their own skin. And in this, it's kind of similar. They kind of all have, there is this chance that they can go out and become human, but none of them choose to do that.
Because so there's also this character, there is a Pinocchio character, as well as the gargoyles having this similar thing, because even like Nick's mum was Geppetto, wasn't she, rather than Geppetto? So you're drawing that parallel, but there is actually a Pinocchio, and he's done it. He has
become real,
to become real now. And the thing that they have to do is this unimaginable, it's like whatever it will be that is the last thing you do. You have to do that thing in order to become real. And Nick just like, it's not worth it. No. So he wouldn't do it, which makes him more human anyway. So it's that little moral thing of, it doesn't really mean that then, does it? That's what Marion says to him, isn't it? She's like, you're already
you're already
real
there
and human in all of the ways that you need to be. Why do you want to be a person for? You're awesome. It's like, well, not a person, a human, I guess. Yeah. He is a person, clearly.
He is.
Right. I think that's it, isn't it? Is that everything? I think we got there. I'm sure there's loads we didn't say.
Yeah, we've so many things, but we cannot be talking for 2 hours anymore because
not anymore. We used to do that.
We did.
3.
We still can.
Some of them were 3.
If you've got time and like hearing our dulcet tones, then go listen to them. But
it's worth it, because we only released like 2 of these seasons. But if you listen to everything, then it'll last you the year.
It really will.
Okay, so shall we spinny wheel for next book? Let's go. So we're going to do spinny wheel for, should we say, book and stuff? We've got a Pack of Storms and Stars by, what's the author's name? Olivia Wildenstein.
Wildenstein.
It's a lot of sounds. We're not quite sure how to make in the right way. Depends where you're from, I think. Steen or Stein. Who you talked about, I think, as well, didn't you?
I
In the
did. She
trophy
was
run?
I
Feather,
can't
wasn't
remember
it?
it. Feather, yeah, and there's
Yeah.
a trilogy of them. Oh, that was got me.
Yeah.
That's I messaged you about that, didn't I?
Ah, yeah.
What happened? This isn't supposed to happen. Why did it finish like this? And then I had to read the rest.
Yeah.
See, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
yes, our link.
Yeah.
Are we linking?
Yes. We're gonna do Rejected First Love, I think will be the link. Because I would have said Fated Mates, but it's not really, because it's like, and it's not even a rejection of Fated Mates in a way, but because of the true love Fated Mates thing,
It kind of has to.
it kind of is, but kind of isn't. So it's like, yeah, a second Fated Mates sort of thing.
A duo. It's another do-over.
It will make sense
Yes,
next
it
week
does.
when we do it. Made sense in my head at the time.
Yes,
Sorry.
it always does.
Okay.
That's what we tell her. It's fine. So you go first.
Keep me happy. Yes, I'll go first. Here we
You
go.
go.
Let's share the spinning wheel. There we are. Right. Let's just get in there. Go for it.
Get in.
It's spinning. I've gone back to my green one. I see. Look.
It.
We got the three random words. Nice. Not done that one before.
Oh, how random can they be?
I don't know. This is what I was going to say to you. Do we want it to be like 3 words that are a coherent description, or literally 3 random words that we think of that describe the book?
So maybe we can kind of go into 6 if some
6
here.
You're breaking the
6
rules
random words.
already.
Rules are made to be broken.
They are. Right.
We'll see what we come up with as we read and digest.
Yeah, that's it. What pops into head? Humor.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. See, that would have worked well for this week.
I was just thinking that,
But it's cool. It did all work well anyway. Right, stop sharing. It is your turn.
My turn. I need to remember to hit all the right buttons.
Okay, so we can see it.
Okay, can you see it now?
I can see it, yes.
Hurrah! No pants
I can see your stuff, no pants in the corner.
No pants.
Driving fairy test, though, this time. You can already drive.
I've been driving for years. I don't actually report bad ad. It's not the best ad. Ooh. I'm assuming there already is some.
Yeah.
Spin-off.
Definitely. Spin-off potential.
Yeah, of course.
It's like it heard us saying, should we start taking stuff off the wheel? And it's like, no, I'll give you all the different stuff. Don't worry.
Come on, don't take it away. Okay, what's next? Dun, 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 dun. Stay there. Pace.
There we go. Nice.
Oh,
cool.
the differences.
I like it. That is all different stuff to be doing.
I don't know if we done pace before.
Not this series. I don't think.
Like
now you're making me wonder. I
Yeah,
don't know.
We'll have to rewatch everything again.
It was all of like 4 weeks ago. I don't remember everything.
We've not done pace for this one, but in the last season, I don't know.
Yes, I think we did do pace. Yeah, in the last season.
Mm.
Wow.
There we go.
There we are. So that will be episode 5 coming out. Yeah. Cool. I hope you join us. Hope you enjoyed this one.
Yep. So find us at all the usual places. The TikTok, mostly on, when Emma does it on TikTok. The Twitter, the YouTube, the
Is anybody
Anchor,
on
Spotify.
Twitter anymore?
Who knows? All the blue ticks have gone from Twitter, but we never had a blue tick anyway. So
no, they didn't.
It made no difference to me. Did they have a tick before? I have no idea.
No clue. Yeah, not sure. So we are around, and come and have a chat to us if you read the books, or you want to read the books, or you have different ones that are similar.
Want to have a natter about fantasy romance or sci-fi or anything really? We like talking.
We love it. Right, and we'll see you then
next week. Be good.
Bye.